All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of La Via. That's right, that means the way in Spanish, because that's exactly what DoPanama is all about. We like to show people the way. We like to help people connect, whether it's with developments and past shows or with fine gentlemen like these two right here. I would like to introduce my friends today, David Clark and Warren Ferguson with CI Associates. And guys, I'm really impressed. I've been watching you guys for years. I've been good friends with you for a long time. And, you guys, you see what I do, and I'd like to connect expats with great people doing awesome things, and I think this is a great honor for not only myself, but our viewers out there to hear about what you guys have to offer and how you can better people's lives. So please, first, I'd like to learn a little bit about you, Warren. Tell me a little bit about your background, where you're from, how long you've been in Panama, what brought you here?
Okay, well, I'm Canadian. I've been in Panama for 12 years. In Canada, in a former life, I was a certified financial planner for 20 years. I was fully licensed. I gave investment advice, tax advice, and part of the services that I offered it was advice on mortgages, tax preparation, and a number of things. Came to Panama bought my first home in 2009, and certainly as an expatriate coming to Panama, I went through the challenges of coming to a new country and learning the way of life here, and have kind of built a life into this culture and absolutely love it. And
it's amazing, right?
Absolutely.
And it must be cool to help people like yourself.
Yeah, and beautiful weather. So I've come from Toronto. And,
freezing.
And freezing my the rest of the year off. So I've been very happy here, and it's really nice to kind of be back into my career, which was always to try and help people in their finances.
That's awesome. Well, and people like myself that, I guess I just have to say it, I'm not the greatest with it, It's like, and when I see interesting things like what you gentlemen do, it's like, you've been in the magazine before, I've read your articles, and it's just awesome, and I love it, and I want to help our readers out there. So, and together you guys have what, 50 years of experience?
Yeah. 50 years combined experience in giving personal financial advice.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. And David, then tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What brought you to Panama?
I'm a Brit here in Panama, having spent the last 25 years in South America. The journey started in Brazil, giving personal financial advice to expatriates. I've lived in every country now in South America and most of Central America. Settled here in Panama 3 years ago. Never looked back. Great opportunities here, whether it be in work or whether it be that people come here to retire.
Yeah.
Fantastic opportunities. I think I always wanted to retire in Venezuela, but sadly I'm ready for retirement, but Venezuela's
not the place.
Not ready for me.
Yeah, of course.
Just yet, but Panama's a fantastic place. We've got a fantastic business here and met some lovely people.
Awesome. And yeah, I want to know a little bit more. So tell me how you guys work. Essentially, the business was built on the back of giving personal financial advice to expatriates. We work on the premise that if you're living in your home country, you have a number of influences on investment decisions. You have family and friends, people you went to university with. Everyone has a financial advisor, newspapers, televisions. Culturally, people tend to make decisions because they have all the influences around them. And many decisions are a legislative requirement. Contributing to pension schemes in one's home country is a legislative requirement. However, when you leave your home country, as many people here in Panama have, you move away from those influences. Of course.
Consequently, decisions don't get made. And that's where we step in and become your financial advisors away from home. We certainly give a more international perspective. But it's important that you understand the cross-border issues, the taxation issues, and any number of mixtures of both of those aspects.
Yeah, because you don't want to make mistakes, because that could be financially detrimental to you.
Well, and the tax avoidance, tax evasion.
That's a crime, yeah.
There's something that's very relevant in all of our lives. So the advice has to be good. It's important to stress that we are regulated.
Awesome.
One of, I believe, only 2 regulated businesses here in Panama. That regulation stretches with Warren's qualifications to Canada. I personally am, as too is Warren, we're regulated in the US with
Awesome.
Series 65 qualifications. So from that perspective, we really can give bespoke service to North American expatriates.
That's great. That's great. Well, there's a lot of us out there. So, and then, so you work with different financial institutions. Which ones are those that you work with?
Well, that's a great question, because I think the most important thing that people are worried about is the security of their money. They want to make sure that they put their assets in a safe financial institution. And the answer to the question varies a little bit by Americans versus Canadians versus an expat and where they're from. The U.S. has some significant tax issues with the IRS, even as a non-resident, either U.S. connected or American citizen. So we use American financial institutions. One of our strongest relationships is with the Bank of New York Mellon, who owns Pershing LLC. Pershing is the biggest clearing broker in the U.S. and one of the biggest in the world. And so I think people can feel safe that we can run their IRAs or their Roth IRAs out of locations like that and still have a feel from the Panamanian perspective of how to do it regulated through this jurisdiction and make sure that they're compliant with the IRS and the U.S. government. A Canadian expat or a British expat is going to have different needs and different issues. Certainly, they're not paying taxes to the U.S. government, but they've got to work in either the tax residence they're in, so they're going to look to other types of financial institutions. One of the places we use is the Isle of Man, where we have some of the biggest offshore insurance companies and portfolio bonds that are available to individuals. Probably not as well known maybe to a Canadian, but very well known to a British expatriate. And so they're major financial institutions. Just to give you a little story, Canada Life is an insurance company that most Canadians would know.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and so Canada Life owns a company called Canada Life International, headquartered in the Isle of Man, that is owned and backed by Canada Life and has the portfolio bonds. Now, that may not be the perfect solution, because we look at the client's tax situation, where their residency is, and we make a selection on what we feel is the right financial institution to place some of that business. But they are all multi-billion-dollar asset, very secured financial institutions that allow us to have open architecture to be able to buy any security and any currency in the world for our clients.
That's awesome. So let's say, for example, myself, and kind of walk through the process as a U.S. citizen with permanent residency in Panama. How does it work? Like, how do I get started?
Well, I think we are financial planners at heart. Okay, so the first thing, everyone has a goal, right? Everyone has a goal.
Yeah,
they also have a process in their mind that it's important to them. It might be to put their children through school. It may be something emotionally that's important to them to provide for their families or for their loved ones or for themselves. And so we sit down and we'll do a fact find to make sure that we've identified what those goals are, what we're trying to accomplish, and we'll take you through that, gather the information, right, and then sit down and do a written plan for people. And of course, if we need outside influences, lawyers, people that are going to manage trusts to be able to put estate plans in place, then we'll bring those outside influences in. We put that written plan in place, and then of course, then we make a recommendation on what we feel is right for the client, and put that plan in place.
So it's all about the client.
Of course, and the relation, and it's going to be different for each person, because each person's circumstances are different.
100%.
Right? In the end, we still have to put assets in place. So we've got stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and to make sure that we've managed people's debts and we're making the best decisions for them in their estates, their wills, and cover off all the different variables that come into a financial plan. So it's not about selling a product, it's about the process and working with an individual to make sure we ensure that we're part of their lives to accomplish their goals over the next 5, 10, or 20 years.
Awesome. Well,
it's also very important to stress the importance of a financial advisor, particularly at the moment. The last 10 years, it's been very easy for clients to go online. There's very low cost interactive brokers being a prime example.
Yep.
Low cost online brokerages. People only really had to stick their finger on a stock, and things have been extraordinarily good over the last 10 years. It detracted a little bit from the work that we do. However, here we are now with some of the biggest and best known shares having dropped by 30 or 40%. People are none the wiser as to why or where. And this is where you need a financial advisor.
Of course.
And this
Well, just as you need a trainer, as a life coach, there's all kinds of things that we need.
Exactly, and it's been made very easy for people over the past 10 years, but now as things have got more difficult, there is a level of sophistication, there is a science in all of this, and I think people will come back to financial advisors. And this has obviously been compounded in the last couple of months because we're seeing inflation touching double digits.
Crazy, yeah.
Something that we haven't seen for some years, and as you mentioned, with the 50 years of experience, we have seen it.
Yeah.
However, there's some younger people out there who haven't seen inflation. It puts a lot of pressure on people if you're needing to achieve 10% to just keep the value of your money. And this inflation, where we thought perhaps initially was very transient, it was something we were just going to move through, I think we've probably got it for a couple more years, and the effects will be far-reaching. So it is time to come back to your financial advisor. It is time to look at those international perspectives. And yes, we're here to serve the expatriate community here in Panama, and and those thinking of moving to Panama or indeed moving to the region.
That's, and times are crazy and things are changing drastically. What do you see as some advice that you could pass on to our viewers, that just right off the top?
Well, I think the important thing is to share experiences.
Yeah, of course.
Where you have 50 years of experience, of combined experience, and if you took our company as a group, there's a whole lot more experience there than what you see in front of you here. It is about seeking advice. It's about sharing opinions, because no one's going to have the right opinion.
And as Warren said, you listen to your clients, and you're basically there as their support, right?
That's right. That's what we're here to do. And it is as simple as that. And as I said,
make sure they don't make a mistake, or maybe help influence on a direction that they didn't look at.
Yeah. Sometimes it's keeping emotions in check to make sure that we don't make that mistake by overreacting to a current event that someone's seen on the television that has long-lasting effects if we don't make the right decision.
Of course.
Sometimes that decision can be doing nothing at all. Sometimes it's making sure we're attacking the opportunity that may present itself because of that uncertainty.
Well, it's very important, like I've talked to you many times, you always have this great information, which again, a guy that's not in this world, I help people. I love helping people, whether it's finding restaurants or hotels or adventures around the country, or the people that are moving to Panama now, and that have been moving to Panama, but we're seeing such an uprise right now. It's incredible how many relocation surveys are just coming in each and every day. And I know there's got to be people out there like myself that, I wouldn't know the first place, yes, some of these big names, but I bet you there's way digger holes the deep with the information that you guys have that could probably influence my decisions on making the correct moves going forward. Again, as you said, to protect myself, my finances, and the future for my family. So that's awesome. And I like what you guys are doing. That's incredible. How do our friends out there get in touch with you guys?
I think initially visiting our website would be a good point of reference, www.ci-associates in the plural .com. But they could also click on the end of this video and come through yourself as part of the service that you're able to offer your clients.
Awesome, great, yeah, and please, you guys, if you guys want to reach out directly, do that. These guys are awesome. They've been a part of our community for a long time. And again, I just gotten a world of information from both David and Warren. Almost cross-combined your guys' names there for a minute. And of course, if you guys are looking for more information about moving here, just reach out. Or if you just want to reach out to me directly and you want me to make an introduction, I'm always happy. As you guys know, I love helping people. I really, really have a fascination with helping people not only move here, but protecting their assets, getting connected with the right people. And, you know, this is supposed to be the best time of your life, you know, whether you're retiring or you're moving down as an expat and you're making that big move. Like, it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, was moving to Panama. And here I am 10 years later and loving every moment of it. So please definitely reach out, and thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate you coming by today.
Thank you for having us.
And yeah, it's been an awesome episode of La Via. Again, guys, that is the way. We are here to make sure you have the best experiences possible coming to Panama. Until next time, ciao.